Welcome to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast. What the fuck? Ash is mad at me cause I cut her off, please. Girl, forgive me, I heard a hot beat. I'm ready to smile like Spencer did. He's surprised that I said a good clip.
Okay. I don't know what just happened.
Yo. Welcome to another episode of How'd I Get Here podcast. The podcast of positivity, progression, and finding your own path. It's Mr. Brown, broken guapo, 10 toes down, big head up. I'm in a good mood. Spencer tried to cut me off. Thumbs up.
Brian, are the phones on?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Slow one.
Yo, I'm 3 weeks sober.
Oh, wow.
I've never drinking 3 weeks.
I think that's about the time. Never mind. Welcome. King Aquarius, well strategist.
Aquaman.
Your boy Spence. Coming at you from the collective space here at 258 Windsor Ave.
Fuck, you suck.
Damn, it's the negative reinforcement. But yeah, pull up. If y'all haven't been here, it's a dope place. Check them out on Instagram. This is really a place for entrepreneurs. So if you need a place to work on your business, you need to have a place to hold meetings, hold events, you want to record a podcast, you want to use the studio to do a video shoot, a photo shoot, it's dope. Pull up here. I want to say who the owner is, but I don't know if she wants all the clout.
Miss. Wait. When I say that, do the thing. Her name is Miss
KB if you nasty.
Ooh.
But
yo, I got a question for you today.
hey, okay, we changing places. I just hope they can hear Ash. We just look silly.
Yo, all right. Wow.
That's a conversation for another day.
If you don't like this question, we could pick another question.
Okay.
Right? Would you rather explore the ocean and everything that it has to offer,
Yeah.
or outer space and everything it has to offer?
And I wouldn't die either.
Yeah, no. You can like safely.
I would probably go with outer space.
Why?
I'm not gonna lie, the ocean is terrifying.
And space isn't?
I feel like there's more unknown in space, and like if I'm gonna make it back safely, I'd much rather see an alien or another life form than whatever the fuck be at the bottom of the ocean.
So that's the thing, right? And I wish I knew the stat, but Earth is what, 75% water?
Something like that.
Something like that, right?
A lot of leagues.
And there's only like 10% of it is explored.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So there's a whole lot on this earth that we don't know.
And not to mention, it's like once you get past like a certain level, the pressure just gets nuts. But you also got to think about the fish that are down there and the type of pressure they have. I think there was like some experiment done where it's gonna keep waning. Some experiment done where like they brought a fish that was down there up and it like exploded. Cause there's so much pressure down there. Like when you brought it up to like a different level, shit popped. But yeah.
I think that the thing that's intriguing about space is there's so much of it. Like space is infinite.
I want to see what's going with Pluto.
Imagine what's out there. Like there's obviously aliens, right?
You say obviously, like what do you mean obviously there's aliens?
Bro, there's well they revealed that they found like other life forms and stuff.
Who?
The US government. You didn't see that?
Like what do you mean?
Okay, so
like this last year when they said that there's aliens?
Like a couple weeks ago, they was like, oh, like we found other life forms like out in space, and people were like, okay, who gives a fuck? Y'all gonna talk about these gas prices going up?
Oh, yeah, right. But when you say life form, like, are we talking about moss or are we talking about like
moss?
People, like like mold and shit could be growing in
No,
space.
like they
an actual, like, creature being
right, they declassified like classified documents that showed like, yo, we've found aliens. We've been in contact with aliens.
That's
But
dope.
even if they didn't, there's no way that you could believe we are the only life form alive, bro.
This is true. I mean, I guess you could. People believe in more ridiculous things.
Chicken Little was onto something. That's all I'm saying.
Who?
Chicken Little? Spencer didn't see Chicken Little.
Terrible.
Sky is falling, sky is falling.
Aliens.
The duck?
He was a chick.
No, but there was a duck.
I was like, Chicken Little's a duck? I was like, is it one of those clay movies?
No.
Oh, it's an animation.
Bro, we're going to sit down Friday night with a drink and some weed and watch Chicken Little. I'm just kidding.
I'm about to say,
Don't
if you're smoking, then I'll dabble. But, all right, word. So, jumping into today's episode.
Jump.
Your baby mama is a...
Jump.
Yeah, so let's talk about passive aggressiveness, right? Is passive aggressiveness ever necessary?
Before we answer that question, let's define passive aggressiveness.
Sorry. I naturally wanted to say what I've been saying. Define passive aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Beating around the bush. Get your mind out of the gutter, actually.
No, I wasn't in the gutter. I kind of disagree with that. But that's...
Well, what's the... Are you looking it up?
Characterized by indirect resistance to the demands of others and avoidance of direct confrontation.
That part. Avoidance of direct confrontation. Some people just soft.
Well, some people are too soft, but bro, I feel like I gotta lift this shit.
Please hold.
There you go. Yo, make a note to like have Brian do some cool shit there. Unhold. I feel like, so we said to avoid confrontation, right?
Yeah.
But my thing is like, I feel like passive aggressive is actually confrontational.
I think it's confrontational for people who are trying to either have a dialogue or want smoke. You know what I'm saying?
So are you, because you said people are too soft, so is it only passive aggressive if you're soft?
I think being passive aggressive in most situations, avoiding conflict, like sometimes conflict is necessary.
So are you saying the person that's soft is the person that's passive aggressive?
Yeah, I think it's a soft quality,
Interesting.
a soft trait. But okay, so now that we've defined it, is passive aggressiveness, is there ever a time where you should be passive aggressive?
Sometimes you just gotta let people know. Like, what was the fucked around and found out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like even if it may not be the most professional thing, but sometimes you gotta come at somebody and just be like, you're like,
Okay. All right. So when you come at this person, right, what are you getting out of it? Is this like,
you putting them in their place.
but what are you getting out of putting them in their place?
Hopefully they will no longer act in a manner in which made you passive aggressive.
And then what if they continue?
Well, then you try something new, and if it doesn't work, that's just a care. I'll give you an example.
Slap them.
Bro, I got this dude at my job, right? And his name is B. No. Got him. No, hit the bottom ref. Ready? His name is. You can turn it off now. You gotta turn that one off.
I was like, I thought it would stop.
So, in working in the school system, and I could only speak to that. I don't know how other jobs are, but a lot of the times you are going to do a job that is not actually your job, right?
That's most jobs.
Right. So, like the team, right? we come together to make sure the school functions. Right. So that means you have to do an extra lunch duty or sub in a class or a lot of that stuff certain people are not supposed to do. Right. But we still do it. Mm-hmm. There are certain persons in our building that literally say, that's not my job. I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean?
I respect that.
But then they also don't even do their job.
Well, that's a problem.
You get what I'm saying? So there's been times that people have done, oh, that's not my job. Well, then, my nigga, what is your job? You know what I mean? You can't be a security guard taking...
I was going to say, that's...
You can't be a security guard taking the elevator to fights. So when I let you know, I'm not going to be like, hey, buddy, these kids were fighting. You probably should have got there first, right? I'm going to tell you, my nigga, you are a lazy sack of shit.
Hey, yo. So, but, okay, that's your feeling, right?
No,
like...
that's fact.
So, I guess I'm trying to, like, decide if there's a difference between being passive-aggressive and just letting things go. Like, is everything worth a response? And if not... Is that being passive aggressive?
In what manner? Because right at work, I feel like everything does warrant a response. Because like, bro, we gotta get this job done.
Right,
You
you're
get what I'm
getting
saying?
paid to do something.
I'm getting paid to make sure these kids are safe, the building runs, blah blah blah, whatever. Right. Whereas at in my personal life, everything does not warrant a response because that's my peace.
So is that being passive aggressive towards it?
To not respond?
Yeah.
No, I think that's taking the higher road if I don't respond. Being passive aggressive, I think, would be responding to everything. Am I making sense of that?
Responding to everything would be passive aggressive?
Well, right, because now it's like me coming at you. Everything I say, I'm not always going to be nice. I'm eventually, to get my point across, be a little rude, be a little sarcastic. You know what I mean? So I think by not responding, you're not passive aggressive because by definition, you're not choosing conflict. You're avoiding conflict by just not saying anything at all.
All right. So what are some times where someone's been passive aggressive towards you and it's irked you?
Well, no. Been passive... That's tough because most of the time, if someone's trying to come at me, I'm coming back at you. You get what like, bro? There was this one time at work, this lady was like, I was like, damn. This is when I got back from Jamaica, right? I think I told y'all the story.
Shorty, you've been parking in your shit?
Oh nah. Shorty was like, I was like, damn, I'm tired, and the old lady was like, oh. That's why we don't go to Jamaica in the middle of the school year. So I was like, oh, well, where'd you spend your 30th birthday? Woodstock? Like, because it was like, bro, mind your fucking business. Like, you know, like there was no need for that comment.
Right.
So you tried to avoid confrontation, so I confronted you. And that just irked me. One, how'd you know I went to Jamaica? And why is that your business? And I'm tired because I'm tired. Right. You didn't have to make that comment.
Okay. But like the opposite, right? Like when has someone been passive aggressive towards you? Like maybe
I felt like her comment was passive aggressive. No, unnecessary.
It wasn't avoiding conflict. I mean, Loki started one. It was unnecessary for sure. I don't know. Have you ever been in a conversation? You're trying to have a dialogue with someone, and you feel like they are either trying to spare your feelings or they're not trying to say what's actually on their mind?
Nah,
for real.
Because I feel like I'm a transparent person. They know I'm going to give that to them.
Yeah.
So I feel like most of the time when I talk to people, they give that to me. Or I could read through it and I'm going to call your bullshit.
You want bullshitting? Interesting. Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, for sure. That shit, yo, it irks the hell out of me.
Give us an example.
An example. What's an example? Okay. Like if like, all right. So at my firm, there's certain metrics and things that need to be done to be successful. Like the cool thing about working in finance is that people can be successful doing a million different things. Like we could all do different things and become successful, but there's also a blueprint of how you can be successful no matter what. And it's tried and true, right? So what I don't like, or what I think is passive aggressive, and y'all can correct me, is that 95% of the people at the firm don't do or hit these metrics, right? People will leave in the middle of the day, go golfing, they'll leave for whatever, because like when you're your own boss, you have the most autonomy. Like you can do whatever you want. Like no one's holding your hand, right? But at the same time, no one's really holding you accountable. Like no one's calling you out on your bullshit. Like, hey, you're not successful. You're not hitting certain things because you're not doing the job. If you're working a 9 to 5, you would have to, the same way like when you're at work, there's certain things that we have to get done before we leave school. If not, like, you're going to be reprimanded. When you're your own boss, you have to hold yourself accountable for certain things. So for me, what's passive aggressive is that the leadership in the office will pity pat around the fact that you're not doing your job. Like you're not doing what needs to be done. Instead of just coming out and saying that, well, when we look at the metrics and when we look at the numbers, like you're supposed to hit 100 points and people are doing this. Why do y'all think this is? Whereas like, why it was.
Is that passive? See, that definition is so hard because they're trying to
avoid conflict
by being nice to your feelings.
Yeah, where it's like you're being nice to someone. I want to use the soccer reference, right? So it's like you willing to confront people on their bullshit, right? You don't think people should take practice off on their birthdays to celebrate with their family for whatever reason, right? Whether you're right or wrong, you addressed it, right? Yo, this is what you need to do to be successful and to make it to the next level. You're not willing to do it. It kind of just shows me what it is about you. Like, you're not going to get there. Right? You kept it a buck. They'll be like, well, what did last week? Like, I hate when I think it's passive aggressive when people ask you a question they already know the fucking answer to. Yo, it pisses me off.
I think the reason why I'm struggling with the conversation or like the understanding is because I don't mind confrontation. You get what I'm saying? I don't mind. Like, yo, I see some pointing it out.
But, like, it's mind-blowing to me that no one's been passive-aggressive towards you. Because if you don't mind...
They probably did, and I didn't even know. That, you know what I mean? Like, they were probably coming at me.
Passive-aggressiveness done right.
And I was just like, oh, this motherfucker coming at me. So I either clap back at him or just ignored him. You get what I'm saying? Like, because not everything does deserve a like, bro, there was... Oh, you gonna like this one. Okay. You gonna like this one. So this stupid lady that I work with, right? I walked in the building the other day, right? And I'm going to tell you why. You're going to agree with me by the end of the story. Okay. So she don't like me, I don't like. Well, it's not that I don't like, I don't care for her. Like you do your own thing, right? So I see you in the hallway, I'm going to still say good morning. Okay. Like my mama raised me better. Right, I'm not just gonna walk by you and say nothing. I'm gonna acknowledge you. So
you better than me.
I walked by the lady, right, and I said good morning, and she went and looked away. So I said, "Oh damn, I guess people are deaf in this building, or they don't have home training. It's one or the other." And then the lady I was walking in with just started laughing. And I was just like, you could have just said good morning. Why did you purposely look away from me? So I think she was being passive aggressive by like, feel me? But I met that with pettiness. You get what I'm saying?
So like, maybe she thought she was taking the high road.
But you couldn't just say good morning?
But if y'all don't like each other, why y'all talking to each other?
We're still adults in a professional environment. You could still just say good morning.
I guess you could.
Why would it hurt you to just say good morning?
I hit you with a what up or
bro. She just an acknowledgement, but she purposely went like this. Turn the other.
She tried to avoid you. Like, who else am I fucking talking to, lady?
There's no one behind you. I see you. You right there. So and that's why I say, like, you could try to be passive aggressive, but if you're gonna be an asshole to me, I'm gonna meet you with even worse.
I guess. I think if someone has got it in their head that they're gonna avoid this conversation at all costs, they're just gonna do it. You know?
What do you mean? They're gonna avoid it, or they're gonna do the conversation?
They're gonna avoid the conversation at all costs. I can't believe you've never had a conversation. You might, like, maybe you really didn't notice it, but you've never had a conversation with like a partner, a girl you were dating, and like y'all got to a point of the conversation where like maybe it's uncomfortable for the average person, but it's not uncomfortable for you. And they're like, can we talk about this at a later time? And you're like, no.
So
talk about this now.
So where does gaslighting come in with passive aggressiveness? Because I've had those conversations where it's like, you not seeing in my way, so I'm gonna just passively aggressively, say some shit like, so this makes sense? So you mean to tell me this makes sense?
But I don't think that's passive aggressive. I feel like that is like starting conflict, not avoiding it. Like,
I don't avoid conflict under any means.
I know. So that's why
Like,
I don't know. I feel like it's almost like if you're working with someone on a project and like for some reason they're not communicating properly with you, and then out of the blue they're just like, you know what, I don't think this is working out. Maybe we should just go our separate ways. What happened?
Bro, that's funny because sometimes in life, people do things that they regret. And I think we're ambitious people. Mm-hmm. And I think that sometimes you have to take a step back and breathe. You get what I'm saying? And if other people cannot resonate with that, it might upset them. Or sometimes people might be passive aggressive because they are not carrying their own load and they might take it out on you.
Is not being solution oriented being passive aggressive?
That's a good question.
Because I think that's me. Like, I always want to get to the bottom of something so we can figure out a solution collectively, right? Like Tropic Thunder is one of my favorite movies.
That's crazy. I think it's a terrible movie.
Oh my! It's because you haven't dabbled in the marijuana. But Tropic Thunder is like top 5 favorite funny movie for me. And like Robert Downey Jr. once he's like, yo, if the machine breaks down, we break down, right? And to me, it's like it's so ridiculous in that moment, but it's so true because if we can't collectively have a conversation that might hurt each other's feelings, might be a little intense, might be a little uncomfortable, but get to a solution at the end of it. Like, all of these things can happen and it still be productive in its own means, you know? It might not be as productive like me and Ash might have a conversation, whereas like there's no need for us to raise our voice because, if we raise our voice, like either person's just going to be like triggered, right? But also it's like you could... Whereas, like, me and you, if we start yelling back and forth, like, we could, like, at the end of it, we'd be like, all right, like, whatever.
Which has never happened.
Right. Well, I mean, we've had some, like, heated sports debates, but, like, I feel like we have I was going to say men, but I feel like guys have we have a different dynamic when it comes to shit like that. Huh? I don't like raising
Bro, but that's where I'm at now at my fine age of 30. As soon as someone's voice gets...
You about to be 31, though.
No, stop playing with me. Nice to me. Reggie Miller, whole lot of gang shit. 3-1, 3-1.
Grandpa.
Pipe down over there. Before I go get the switch.
Sorry.
Yo, make a note. Gotta bleep that shit out. Gotta bleep that. Yo. This is out of pocket. Completely out of pocket. For me now,
Sorry. My bad.
bro, somebody raises their voice.
I'm probably gonna laugh.
No, why are you yelling? Why are you like? Am I? And one thing about me, I know a lot of people say this. They respond or talk to me in a certain manner because they want to see me react. Because a lot of people have never seen me react. Because even in my like in my most angry moments, I'm still gonna talk to you like this. You get what I'm saying?
React a certain way because I was like, I feel like you are reactive.
No, right, but I'm not gonna get as elevated. I'm not gonna get hot. Like you know,
you're not gonna get out of character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? I know it's gonna piss you off even more that I'm still talking like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, with that, it's like, bro, why are you yelling? We can have this conversation. Calm down.
Yeah.
So how does pettiness play into this?
Being passive aggressive?
That part.
I guess it depends what the intentions behind withholding your. I think that's like the passive aggressive part that annoys me is like, why are you withholding information that might make the situation better? Like how can you ever solve a problem if you can't address it, right? So like my pettiness comes in, I start saying outlandish, ridiculous shit about the situation. I'm like, well, I don't want to talk about it. Well, yeah, but what if aliens take over the world tomorrow and we never get to talk about it ever again? And then I die and my last thought is, oh my gosh, I wish we had this conversation and now that's the last thought I have before I die. Are you going to be okay with that?
Well, I'm assuming they're going to die too if aliens took over the world.
Who knows?
Shit.
I guess if they die first, it doesn't matter. But it's
an insane hypothetical.
It's heinous. But I don't know. I guess there's times to be petty, and there's times for a serious intellectual dialogue.
So go ahead, man.
Although I do love being petty. Like, instead of Mr. 20%, King Petty might come back. I don't know.
Ooh. Ow. Let's dissect the word, right? Because passive and aggressive are antonyms, no? And by antonyms, I mean opposite.
I'm gonna say yes. My peripherals are saying
yes. Well, no, because to me, when I hear passive, right, I think laid back, I think chill, right. Aggressive is quite the you know, you're you know. So how can one be and chill? Because then it makes me think if you're passive aggressive, you're not really chill. I feel you're more uptight if you're passive aggressive.
You feel like you're just bottling up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Yes. Like passive aggressive is literally bottling things up and not just letting it out because you're either scared or you're nervous as to what the other person's going to feel or what you're going to feel if you let it out.
What I'm going to start telling people, are you being passive aggressive?
Are you instead of gaslighting? Are you being passive aggressive right now? Are you gaslighting
what
me by
is the
being
best
passive aggressive?
way to deal with passive aggressiveness? Like, one, if you are the aggressor, and two, if you are being aggressed at.
Sorry, ask that question another way. You kind of took me for a...
What is the best way to deal with passive aggressive? So, one, if you're the person being passive aggressive, right? Because we can agree that being passive aggressive is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So, what is the best way to deal with it? If you're the aggressor, like being passive aggressive, or two, if someone is directing passive aggressiveness towards you?
I don't think I know. I don't know. Because part of me, my pettiness is just like, well, fuck it, hold on to that shit then. Like, don't ever bring it up. That was your time. You have 48 hours to have this discussion or never bring it up because I no longer care. But, like, I don't know how realistic that is because I also want people to be open with me. It's like, no, like, whenever you're ready to have the conversation, have it.
But you can't wait too long.
Like, when it's not on my timeline, I guess I could be frustrated. And then me being like, I don't understand. I guess it's just like the lack of understanding. Like, I don't understand why you're being passive aggressive.
When you could just effectively communicate what you're feeling.
Effectively communicate what you're feeling. If more people in the world could do that, it would be a better place.
I'm learning. I'm learning that right now. Effective communicate. I mean, I know how to communicate,
But effective.
effectively.
Because effective communication is different for everybody.
Right.
Like,
And I think part of effective communication is being vulnerable. I don't think you can communicate without being vulnerable.
yes. That is part of, for all my clients who listen to this is part of my tactic when talking to people. I use my own scenario, right? Like I use my own situation. Like, yeah, I remember when I did this. And then some people are just like, you're mansplaining. I'm like, no, I'm making myself human. You know, like I'm being relatable. Like what you're saying resonates with me. Here's why, but also here's what I did to get out of it, type thing.
Right. And that's the thing. I can be sarcastic.
No.
But does that mean I'm passive aggressive? Is sarcasm and passive?
No, because I feel like sarcasm starts conflict, no?
See, that's what's so.
Well, I guess
that's what's so hard about this. Or I don't know, because if you're being sarcastic, you're kind of beating around the bush to avoid that conflict. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if someone's sensitive, they can take that sarcasm offensively. You get what I'm saying? But maybe sarcasm and passive aggressiveness are one and the same.
I think they are. I think they have similar qualities and like similar character traits. I don't think they're the same. But you also said something that's very interesting. Is if someone's sensitive, and what I'm realizing,
You're an asshole?
I've known this. What I realize is that we're all sensitive. We all have a level of sensitivity to something, right? My level of sensitivity to spicy food is higher than yours. But like when we're talking about emotional, like everyone's level of sensitivity is different, right? So when what?
Go ahead.
What?
When we're talking about sensitivity, I immediately think emotions.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This man just said my sensitivity to spicy food.
I'm tied it back into emotion. Yeah.
It was just,
yeah. Because everyone has eaten something spicy, right?
like them things, them chicken tenders. Remember,
bruh. It but that's not even good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even edible. So right, like how the same way people have different sensitivities to spice, we have different sensitivities to emotions, right? So I used to think, I've grown a lot. Let's say I used to think this a while ago, when people had an outward reaction emotionally, I would consider them sensitive, which I would also think is weak at the time, right? I no longer think this because I'm realizing it's like, no, you're being vulnerable. Like, and vulnerability is power. I think, right?
make sure you put a note of that, because I got to put this as a clip for the people that are like,
I'm getting all of it.
that hate Spencer.
Wow. For the people who hate me, like, ain't no passive aggressive here. We can have that conversation. You can come on and have a dialogue with your boy. Unless you're Sydney, you win. Yo, I've never had a back and forth with Sydney that I've won.
That's old girl from the live podcast?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she got
and
you.
from the live podcast, from Ashley's living room, like.
That was the same girl.
Yes, bro. Trust me. I remember every L I've ever taken.
Spencer, take the L. Spencer, take the L. Spencer, take the L.
Been taking them. So unless you're Sydney, like, it's free smoke.
But why has it got to be smoke? Why can't it be... Yeah, like that was passive aggressive.
That's passive aggressive?
It was avoiding conflict by inviting conflict.
That doesn't make sense. That's an antonym.
No, but because listen, you're like, listen, we can have a conversation about why y'all don't like me.
Yeah.
Right? To come to some mutual understanding.
Agreement, yeah.
Agreement
cool.
on it, right. But then when I hear free smoke, it sounds like, nah, nigga, I'm coming for you. Like, to me, the free smoke sounds confrontational.
Which isn't passive aggressive.
But the way you said the initial statement, like,
I'm not getting it.
Nah.
I see what you're saying, but
It's a stretch. My bad. Go ahead.
all right.
I'm using my terms. So I think like with passive aggressiveness, it's more pertaining to the lines of what you guys talked about before of like, it's when people are just like indirectly trying to bring on conflict, but they don't fully want the conflict. They just want you to know that I'm mad at you for this, and I hope you're picking up on these cues. When it's just like, you can just express, hey, I didn't like when you did something, and can we talk about why I didn't like that? So that way, if you were doing something that you didn't know the person didn't like, then you could understand like, oh, my bad, I didn't mean it to come off that way. Let's unpack this misunderstanding.
That made me think of, right? If I'm talking big shit, right? Like let's take the race into example, right? Back in the day, I was like, yo, bro, like, Jacob, I'll smoke you in a race. We going back and forth about it, right? What if we ever raced and I lost and me being a sore loser, is that being passive aggressive? Like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, okay, I lost, whatever, and like...
Oh, he's just a sourpuss.
Yeah.
That's not passive aggressive?
There's no confrontation there.
But I feel like whoever wins, like, they're gonna want to talk their shit.
Yeah, but that's a dialogue. I feel like when there's passive aggression, there's no actual dialogue. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm making a comment at you, and there's no following dialogue behind it. You get what I'm saying?
I feel like there's a dialogue, but passive aggressive is just circling around it.
So there's a dialogue that needs to be had. Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm circling around it
And I want to attack
avoid that conversation.
Right. So, like, I would want to attack it, which is...
The opposite of passive aggressive.
Right. So, okay, I get it.
So
That's actually the best
I
way
think
to...
passive aggressiveness is just like an anthem in itself, because it's like you're really just being more aggressive about like, I didn't like why you did this to me, or like, I don't like the fact of like blah blah blah, or whatever you're mad at the person. So like basically, say I was mad at Spencer because he did something to me, but I, instead of saying, hey Spencer, can we talk about, what happened last week? I didn't mean like blah 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 blah.
She's like, I'm mad at you.
Right, or like I'll throw little jabs, or like make little snarky comments, or like try to show like I'm mad at you, but I'm playing off like I'm not.
And
mad.
I want you to inquire.
Yeah, like I want you to.
It's acknowledging.
Are you mad at me?
It's acknowledging, but not addressing.
Right.
Yes.
That
Bitch
like
ass
your
behavior.
definition just made, I'm gonna acknowledge that you did something, but we're not gonna address it. We're not gonna
Right.
converse.
Or at
We're
least
not
I'm
gonna.
not gonna bring it up because I want you to bring it up because you are the one that like.
Yo, yes, because that irks the fuck out of me. It's like, I want you to see the error of your ways. You did it. You don't know what happened? No, because I don't know what the fuck. Like,
And see, so but hold on. But that's why I say like people might be passive aggressive towards me, and I might not know, because guess what?
if you was a real one, say it to my face.
You could be saying shit, and because I really don't care, because you're not gonna say it, I'm not even paying you no mind. You get what I'm saying?
You're
You
not
could
worth the time because you're not even stepping up for yourself. So I'm not gonna step up for you.
You get what I'm saying? So like, you could talk your shit, but listen, I'm over until you say, "Hey, this is what's on my heart," bro. I'm good.
That's the best. Yes, because I feel the same way.
And I think, tying back to what you said in the beginning, yo, this shit is getting so clear to me.
I can see clearly. Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yo, you know what I just realized this morning? We're in September, and I haven't played that Earth, Wind, and Fire song not once.
Got you.
But to tie it back to what you were saying, right? By not acknowledging a situation could be passive aggressive. To like what you were saying in the beginning.
Yeah.
We both know you fucked up. We both know you did some shit, but you don't even want to address it. Cool.
That part.
And I'm over here.
Because the way we are is like, we have so much going on. I'm not going to acknowledge your feelings for you. If they're hurt, tell me. Like, if I did something.
See, that's where I disagree. If I know that I hurt your feelings or I made you feel a type of way, I'll take accountability and acknowledge it.
Which is cool, but what if you genuinely didn't know and then this person's acting funny towards you?
Well, then, yeah.
So it's like, because I have so much going on, like if you're hurt or if I did something to hurt you or if I could do something better and you don't acknowledge it, like I got fucking homework to do. Like, or like I got a business to run. So yeah, I think, so okay. I guess back to the initial question, like now that we've really defined it, thank you, Ash. Ash always coming up with the bars to help us. Like,
and she ain't want to come on the episode
put
because
it
of
all
her
together.
outfit.
That was the reason why?
Not kidding.
You ain't got no broad?
Huh?
I'm joking.
She's going to be passive aggressive next week because you said something that she didn't like.
No, I don't believe in passive aggressiveness because I think it's just a cop out. Like, I'm gonna call you out on your shit.
I just learned what that shit was.
For real?
Like,
we kind of,
today. I was not having a good Tuesday. That's all.
we really all like defined it together.
Like, I knew it was a thing, but...
He's like, yo, people really do that? Like, where do they do that at?
Breathe and live passive aggressiveness. I'm like, I feel sorry for you because you're missing out on so much in life.
Yeah, right? Like, there's so many conflicts that
And
you
you're
could be
bozo.
better for.
Like, why are you being passive aggressive? You're a fucking bozo.
So we can all agree. We can all agree that conflict is a good thing.
So that's the initial question, right? So is there ever a time where it's valid to be passive aggressive?
Yeah, I don't want to say passive aggressive. I think conflict is needed sometimes because if you're not going to talk about something, then maybe like a conflict needs to happen to bring it out of you because it's gonna muster up.
It's gonna come out at some point.
Yeah, and I feel like passive aggressiveness, people just live in a very like now I'm not going to talk to them because they still haven't apologized for what they did to me 5 months ago. And I can't believe that they didn't do what I wanted them to do because how do they not know that that offended me? It's like...
Because you ain't bring it up.
Right, but you see then what gripes them is because now that person who did the act is living their best life carefree, not knowing. And they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they really don't care about they hurt my feelings. They don't know.
Yeah, like... Do yourself a favor. You know, everybody, here's a call to action for the podcast, right?
Hey, you took a class?
No, yeah, actually, a couple of them things. Yeah, a call to action for the podcast people. Everyone who listens to us, all of our higher ups, shout out Trey. Right. Contact someone who hurt you or did you wrong and tell them about it. Especially if you haven't. Like, call them, text them, like, yo, can we have a conversation? And literally tell them, like, yo, listen, back in 2010 when we graduated, you stepped on my gown, had my whole chest out looking crazy. All my pictures were janky from there, and you hurt my feelings. And I haven't liked you ever since. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That, like, the fact that you're festering that is crazy. Like, what else are you holding in? This is another PSA. Go to therapy. It's necessary. Go find yourself a good therapist. It's like dating. You're not gonna find one right away. You have to test the waters. You might have to tell some people to kick rocks. You might have to ghost some people. Oh, is ghosting passive aggressive? It's gotta be by definition.
Ooh, but
Is it necessary?
Because here's the thing. I've, at my fine age of 30,
soon to be 31.
Grandpa.
there are certain people that don't deserve a conversation. Oh. You have chose to treat me a certain way. You've shown who you are. So you know what? I'm going to just ghost you because you don't deserve my kindness to break this down. Like, if I've accepted this is where our relationship is, and it is what it is, and you're mistreating me, you don't deserve that conversation. You get what I'm trying to say?
I do. I just don't know if I agree. You know what it is? Have you ever seen The Accountant with Ben Affleck? Yeah. So you know how he has to finish things? That's kind of how I feel about things. Like I finished it. Yeah, I kind of want to have that.
I got my foot on the table.
Right. I feel like it's necessary to have that dialogue because I don't want to hold it in. Or it's like I'm going to come on the podcast and like shit on you for a year.
12 months?
Listen, it's been done.
Yo, it's wild that you knew who and what I was talking about.
Yeah, man. Yo, so shout out Joe Rogan's Alpha Brain. I took some of that shit today. Shit working.
Nah, unshout that shit out. He ain't sponsoring us.
This is true.
Fuck him. Joe Rogan, come on the podcast.
Fuck you, Joe Rogan. Come on the podcast. I don't know. He be having 3-hour podcasts, bro.
Fact. That's why I can't watch Drink Champs. I be wanting to watch
And they drink it the whole time.
bro. I be wanting to watch them, but it's like, bro, I'm not watching nothing.
Can we talk about the alcoholism that happens on that show, bro? It's nuts. But
I mean, the good thing is the demographic is probably of age.
well,
You know what I mean? So it's not like they're
It's
doing anything for anyone that doesn't already see it.
And it is all love. Like, if you do watch it, like, they're just showcasing and, like, giving love to people and their accomplishments. But I'm like, y'all are really drink. Like, we used to drink for 45 minutes and kill a bottle. They got bottles. It's just going.
I want to do that again.
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, we need, like, we need a crew. Not a crew, but we need, like, no, we need another round table. We need another round table.
Should we do that next month?
Ooh.
Just get a round table with some fun folk, get it bottles and just see what the convo.
We just sit in
we could talk about friendship.
Aww.
We could talk about friendship.
Friends off.
Yo, she just DJ'd at what was it Trafalgar Square?
I don't know, but I saw her like dancing on her DJ booth. I was like, yo,
Bro,
so yeah.
in Trafalgar, I'm saying it wrong,
Yeah.
but it's in England.
Oh, she's Mrs. Worldwide, bro. She be outside with
The
it.
female pit bull.
I mean, that's a compliment.
No,
to be honest
facts,
with you.
facts.
Like,
But yeah, well, do we got anything else to say? This was fun.
yeah,
I now know what passive aggressive is.
I think this was one of. I like how we kind of knew what passive aggressiveness was, and like we came together as a whole and figured it out.
Sonia, come back on the show.
Facts. Spin a hot beat. I guess yeah, sure. We've been chopping up for close to an hour now.
That shit cool to say, huh? That's just kind of tight, huh?
Consistency is key. So yeah, I don't want to end it though. So I'll do my 15 seconds of fame. You can do yours. Listen, protect your peace, protect your mental health, do yourself a favor, and talk your shit. There's no need to hold it in. Somebody did you wrong. Politely and effectively communicate to them what they did, and if y'all don't come to an agreement, cut that bitch off.
And on that, thank you, Spencer, Ashley, and Brian, for being here. Collective Space, thanks for hosting us, guys. Come on down, in the wise words of Bob Barker. My 15 seconds of fame. If we don't listen to ourselves, we dismiss our feelings. So acknowledge what you're feeling and all that good jazz.
Oh, don't be passive aggressive towards your feelings.
So, with that being said, this is the best fucking podcast in CT because it's a rap, and you know we coming for the throat. Cook crack, baby.